Have you ever wondered how far someone would go to protect the ones they love? How much courage can defy life itself? That's exactly what we saw in Saint Seiya. When Shun of Andromeda decided to sacrifice himself before Poseidon to save his friends, in the Poseidon saga, the sea rises as an enemy and darkness threatens to swallow everything. The ocean isn't just a backdrop, it's a symbol of the immensity of the struggle, of the uncontrollable power of a god who desires to dominate the world. And it is there, among submerged columns and crushing currents, that Shun, the kindest of the bronze saints, shows that gentleness and resolve can walk hand in hand. Shun was always the heart of the group. Unlike saga shiryu, hyoga and ikki, he never fought to win at any cost. His essence was in protecting, in believing in the good of every being, even his enemies. But in Poseidon, that kindness was put to the test. The sea roared. The Marana warriors fell one by one, and yet the greatest threat stood before them, the god of the seas himself. It was at that moment that Shun made the hardest decision of his life. He knew he couldn't simply fight like the others. He knew his cosmos, shaped in love and sacrifice, had to become a shield for his friends. And when the Andromeda chains began to shine more intensely, it wasn't just an attack or a defense, it was a silent cry of surrender. Shun gave himself up, offering his life in sacrifice, hoping that his companions could continue the fight. Shun's sacrifice wasn't loud, it wasn't made of roars or explosions. It was made of silence, of invisible tears, and the courage of someone who prefers to suffer alone rather than see others fall. It was an act that resonated beyond the waters of Poseidon, striking directly into the hearts of those who watched. And this scene teaches us something powerful. Strength isn't just a clenched fist or a battle cry. Strength is also renunciation. Strength is putting others above yourself, even when everything seems lost. Now, before we continue, let me tell you something. If you were one of those who believe that taking care of yourself is also a way of protecting those you love, you'll like the Fitbit Sense 2 health monitoring. It tracks heart rate, sleep, stress, and much more, working as an invisible guardian always by your side. A bit like Shun'S chains, discreet, but indispensable when we need them the most. Back to the scene. What impresses most is how Shun's sacrifice doesn't diminish his strength, but amplifies it. He shows that even the most sensitive can carry within themselves the most powerful flame. And his friends, witnessing his surrender, also find the motivation not to give up. Shun never wanted to be the hero, but paradoxically, he became one of the greatest by showing that kindness can also stand up to gods. Amid the roar of waves and Poseidon's arrogance, the memory of Shun'S sacrifice echoed as a reminder that true victory isn't just in defeating the enemy, but in never betraying who you are. That is the tragic beauty of his act. The most peaceful saint, the one who avoided fighting, was the one who showed the greatest value of sacrifice, because his strength didn't come from anger, but firm love. And in the end, isn't love the only energy capable of facing even the gods? Medineford showed us Ace's scream of pain. Poseidon showed us Shun's silence. Two sides of the same coin, sacrifice for others. But in Shun's case, there was no despair. There was acceptance. There was surrender. There was a flame of serenity that lit everyone's heart. And that's why this scene remains so striking even today. It wasn't just about Saint Seiya. It wasn't just about Poseidon. It was about us. About how life now and then asks us to give something up for the sake of those we love. So I ask you, if you were standing before the crushing power of a god, would you have the courage to give up everything as Shun did for your friends? Or would fear speak louder than love?